going to show you how to create some simple JavaScript embedded within HTML, and actually how to use the debugger in your web browser to help you understand where you might have mistakes or bugs in your JavaScript program. So what I've done here, I've actually loaded a local editor called JEdit, which we have on all the machines in the lab, but if you don't have it on your own computer, you can always download JEdit from the web. Just do a quick Google search and you can find it. And all I really want to do is build a very simple HTML page. I'm actually going to get rid of all the typical HTML tags that really should have, but I'm going to just leave that out for now, except for the HTML tag itself. And I'm just going to put some simple input text here, just to see something. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in an input box. So here's a simple program I have. It's just an input field of type text and then a button. Right now, no JavaScript, nothing. We're just going to see how that works. We saved it. I saved it in a directory, so you can do the same thing. And then I'm going to go and open up that folder that I saved it in, and all I'm going to do is double click on it. When I do that, browser pops up, loads the file locally, and I have it right here. Of course, you can do all the testing also on a workspace if you like. But here's the key. So what I want to do is I want to write some simple JavaScript where, let's say we put in some kind of a number, we check to see if it's, I don't know, less than 100. It's not important what the program does. It's just something very simple. So let's go take a look at this. So to hook up some JavaScript, I have to say the event that I wanted to have triggered on. So let's say onClick, and onClick I want to call the function check. And then of course I have to write the function check. I'm going to put it right here, although normally you should be putting your JavaScript into your head section just to keep it separate from the code. But as long as you put it inside script tags, it's not going to show up anyway. So I'm going to write the function check, open the body, close the body of the function. I always do that. In fact, you can even put a comment at the end to kind of remind yourself what this does. And then that's really it. Now I want to check to see if the function gets called. So I'm just going to put a null statement in here. It's just a semicolon. That allows me to actually, it's very important because it allows you to go and stop the program at that point in time. So let's go save it again, and let's go run this again. So we switch back to the browser, reload it, get the new program, should be able to type something in here and click on check. Of course, nothing happened because the function doesn't do anything. But how could I check this? Well, I'm going to go ahead and open up the browser debugger. Now you can get to some multiple ways. Typically in Chrome, you can click on more tools and then check developer tools, or you can hit Control-Shift-I. Might be a little bit different on Mac. Forget what the exact command sequence is on the Mac. I can also make this a little bit smaller here so we still see it. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see your usual HTML code, but you're also going to see your stuff here. So you're going to see your sources. That's the program that we have. We'll double click on it, and it's actually loading it right here. Now, what's interesting here is that you actually see the code right here that you're running. And in fact, you can click on certain things and kind of see where different parts are. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set something called a breakpoint. So I'm going to click on line 8 right here on the line number itself. I guess it won't let me. There's not enough there. So I'm going to have to go back and actually edit something or add something to it. So let's go do that. Back to JEdit. Let's go actually put something more useful here. So var n equal to 0. Then let's go ahead and retrieve the value that the user typed in here. So this is typically how we retrieve a value from an input box. It's always document dot get element by ID, and then in double quotes I have to put in the name of the ID of that input element. I don't have an ID here, so I have to fix that up here and give it an ID, and I can call it anything I want. So let's call this one here age, all right, for the sake of argument. Save that again, reload it in the browser. All right. So now I should be able to go over here, double click on this, I guess I didn't save it properly. I actually probably have to actually run it fully just to make sure it works. All right, there you go. Pause in debugger, keep on going. So now we should be able to reload it. Let's get rid of the debugger here. Reload the thing. Let's make sure it's actually there. Can always do a page source. Yep, we got the new code here. Control Shift I starts the debugger again. And yes, indeed, I do have the new variable, new stuff here. So one of the things I can do is I can, every time you click on a line here, it actually stops the code right there. So watch what happens when I run this. So I put in some numbers here. I click check. After I click check, what's supposed to happen, of course, is because I have an on-click equal check, it's going to call the function check. In fact, let me go put another one right here. So as soon as it's going to happen is once it reaches line 8, watch what happens. It paused right here. It's paused in the debugger. I can actually now hover over the variables to see what happens. Now, if I want to go on to the next variable, all I have to do is go over here. Now, I don't want to resume execution completely, but I want to just go into the next function call. So I'm going to click on this. Goes on to the next one. So it tells me right here n is equal to 0. See that? I'm going to actually stop it here as well. Let's see what v is. V is null. That's not good. That basically means I didn't get the correct element. Why not? I thought I did, but I made a mistake. What was the mistake I made? I'm supposed to use dot value over here. What I got actually was the object, not. Oh, and I also forgot to put in the ID in here. But by doing that, I was able to figure out what the value of v was. I didn't have to print it out. So let's go back and fix this. So first thing, always copy IDs. Never type them in so you make no spelling mistakes. And then, of course, it's dot value. Let's save that again. Let's go back to the editor. Let's finish it, reload it. See if we get the new, well, we gotta exit out of this, start it up again. Okay, we do have the new thing here. So once again, I'm gonna have a checkpoint down here when we get into the function. Type in number here, click check, stops right here. So now I can step into, by the way, you can also just hit F10 if you'd like. So n is equal to 0. Let's see what v is equal to. I hover over it. It's 22. By the way, you can also set a watch. If you set a watch, you can actually put a variable in here. And what will happen is, as you execute your program, it's always going to display the current value of that variable. That's going to be very powerful when you modify the variable throughout your code. You can kind of check to see what the value becomes as you sort of go through the code. So that's how you use a debugger in JavaScript to help you debug your programs and understand your code.